Hi, I'm Maarten Hajer from Urban Future Studio, together with my colleague Jeroen Oomen. We have a small team at the University of Utrecht to study urban futures. We do it in a very interdisciplinary way, and I think you can understand this as interpretive social scientist.
I'm definitely also an interpretive social scientist in the broadest possible sense, and I'm very interested in the way that we use science and technology in climate politics.
What we constantly try and do is not only look into the nature of the problems, but also connect that to how you organize a process. So it is in that sense sort of public policy content, but it's also public policy process that we seek to address. And we also go beyond a conventional path. So we look for what we call soft spaces, which are spaces that are not so invested with power differentials, that are places that where all people can speak and can also influence the course of events. What are these places in our current society and how can we help define them, spot them and develop them? That's part of what we want to do as well.
The methods that we use are suited for quite a wide range of different sort of problems and methodologies. We work quite a lot with policymakers around the circular economy of 2050 in the Netherlands, which is a stated aim but very undefined. So we're collaborating to see what we can find. We try to discuss with policymakers and with scientists what they are doing around climate policy and how they are understanding the limits of that, civil participation in decision making in neighborhoods. So it's a very broad palette, really.
For one reason or another, we ended up doing quite a few exhibitions. But what we then do is not only sort of address issues, but also use that as a space where we can discuss things. So make a theater in the midst of it. And for instance, we had a University of Hope in the midst of one of our exhibitions. And we then explore, whether that space that we ourselves created leads to a different sort of conversation and how we can then connect that to the more official spaces of politics like parliaments and city councils and so forth.
I think in general, all our research methods that we teach here can be summarized under the header of futuring, and futuring is this broad category of how we use and construct ideas about the future to get a shared orientation for action and a shared direction. And that is in and of itself a very transdisciplinary endeavor, because it shouldn't be just us as these white male academics from Copernicus Institute determining where we're going.
I think that urban research should be innovative also because of the challenges that we are facing. So if we see that we're not successful enough in addressing these challenges, we have to reinvent ourselves. I mean, urban studies is a field of organic intellectuals, right? I mean, it's not a field where you want to know things for the sake of it. You want to actually improve on the livelihood of people. So in that sense, it's obvious that we need to engage in a different way also to help policymakers and other agents of change in society.
I think transdisciplinary research is crucial for not just urban studies and urban research, but research in general, especially given the big challenges that we face in the 21st century. There's long been this assumption that with science you can just find solutions to predefined problems. But more and more we realize that once we start to defining these problems, we're already sort of preempting certain solutions. And again, that shouldn't be us doing that. That should be in conversation about what the future should be like. And therefore, I can't see any future for research that isn't transdisciplinary.